You and I have both been there. It's just when you go to bed and your brain will not go to sleep. In the stillness of the night, when sleep is fleeting, the mind seems to churn and promote wakefulness in a lot of us. So what causes those racing thoughts at night? And how can this be relieved? Well, we're going to learn about some of the effects of stress or anxiety and get back to sleep on some of those remedies. Insomnia can occur in anyone given the right circumstances, particularly during periods of stress or anxiety. Difficulty falling or staying asleep may manifest. Sleep occurs best when stressors and preoccupations do not flood your thoughts. So these worries are activating and making it hard to get to sleep. This may seem like something that is beyond your control, but it's not. Racing thoughts can manifest in a variety of ways. Some people describe it as a movie that plays in their mind at night, images quickly flashing past in their consciousness while they lie awake with their eyes closed. Sometimes it's experienced as part of a rumination. To understand rumination, imagine a cow that slowly and persistently chews on its cud. Food is regurgitated from its stomach to be rechewed and swallowed. And when it's not properly taken care of, it comes up again. So in the same way, sources of stress or anxiety may come to your mind to be revisited, rehashed, and processed again. And perhaps there's no evident solution, and after being suppressed temporarily, it comes back to the forefront of your thoughts, especially during quiet times at night. So although racing thoughts may be thought to occur only among people with anxiety disorders, this isn't necessarily the case. Again, given the right situation, stress may continue to its occurrence even among those who do not identify themselves as feeling anxious or even worried. This may be heightened in times of exceptional levels of stress, job loss, divorce, death, moving, after the death of a loved one especially. The content of these thoughts may relate to professional, financial, family, relationship, health, or other stressors. But no matter the cause, these thoughts can be very, very disruptive and require intentional changes to resolve them. Here's how to relieve racing thoughts at night. In order to turn off a racing mind, you have to deny it the fuel it needs to start spinning in the dark. This can be accomplished by managing stress, spending some time unwinding before bed, and using distraction and relaxation techniques. It can be very helpful to set aside some time during the day to address your stressors. And this is sometimes called scheduled worry time. Every day, take some time to identify, list, and work to resolve what causes you stress, anxiety, tension, or worry. This may be done by spending some time each afternoon creating or reviewing a list of the things that contribute to stress in your life. Write them down. Then in a second column, provide a few action items that will allow the stress to be addressed and relieved. I will often do this if I'm in a sound sleep, so to say, and suddenly find myself awoken 1 hour after I fall asleep. For many people, it's not just about not being able to fall asleep, but waking up after an hour or an hour and a half and not being able to get to sleep because the worries bother you so much. And that's when you have to get up, write down the thoughts that you're worrying about, even if you don't want to, and you will find miraculously by writing them down, it really helps. For example, let's say you have a project due at work in 2 weeks. This may cause you to have increased stress. It may seem insurmountable. There is no way you can get it all done, and you don't even know where to begin. This stress can be incapacitating. Rather than be overwhelmed, break it down into manageable chunks and then get to work. Make these items components of the action plan. Review the files. Speak with your coworker. Schedule a meeting. Draft the proposal and finalize the presentation. As you accomplish the task day by day, you cross them off, and eventually the stressor itself can be removed from the list. So all of these things can be seen in the Achieve blog today. And I'm going to get into my room so I can look at a few of the inquicks that were coming in to the room. Just a second here. Yeah, those are things that I think can help you out. So we have, and again, I want you to know that you can call 602-666-6027 for getting a reading by the phone, and I'm right here, and I can see you. Or you can try to inquick me, and there are a few people that are here, and I will definitely get to you. We'll start out with Amber, and she says, "Hi, Anne-Marie. Do you have any insight on my finances for the next 6 months? I am currently not employed." All right, Amber, I'm looking at your finances for the next 6 months. And the way that I do this, guys, is I lay down 6 cards. The first card is January. The second one is February. Third, March. Fourth, April. Fifth, May. And the 6th, June. And here's what comes up on your finances. I can honestly tell you, my dear, that it looks as if the next 4 months are going to be very tight. January, it says you're going to have to be very cautious about trying to spend money. February, it says you can spend money, but don't do anything out of the ordinary. Don't try to do any internet shopping or anything like that. Still need to be tight with your money. March, same thing. March, you may even find that there's a car breakdown or something going on. That's a month where there seems to be a little bit of bad luck for money. April, though, and May and June are all good. So the next 3 months, work at saving your money. You're going to find that doing that, you'll get by just fine. All right. Okay, the next one we have is from Lena, and she's from Tennessee. And excuse me, guys, I don't mean to be talking through my nose, but I know that I am, and I will still get these readings done. Hi, Anne-Marie. I came across a lost dog who I named Max, and no one came forward to claim him. Can you pick up on his vibes? I am looking to keep him. He's so lovable. I love animal readings. Yes, yes, yes. So here is what your max reading is on your dog. And if I look at that, here's what his spirit comes out as. I'm showing this dog as having had very hard times. It seems as if his owners were not motivated to try to take care of him at all. I'm shown that he went through great insecurity and he was very, very lost. I'm shown at this particular time he wants to believe that you are going to be able to give him the home that he wants. But in all honesty, it's going to take another month with him for him to be trusting that you will actually treat him the way that he wants to be treated. This Max is a lost puppy, and I think that he's got a great spirit, but as a survivalist, he's had to put up with abuse. Not abuse as being kicked, abuse of neglect. And I think that probably he was ignored. Maybe somebody let him out of a kennel. Maybe it's something that he did by himself to escape. But one way or the other, I think by February, you're going to see that he is starting to come around and be so trusting of you, Lena. Thank you for taking care of him. I appreciate that, and I'm sure so does Max. All right, we've got Patrick. And Patrick says, hello, Anne-Marie. Can I have a 3-month financial reading? So we're going to look at that. And when I look at Patrick and his financial reading, here's what comes up, Patrick. I am shown that in February, things are starting to take a turn in your finances, and they are amazing in February. So January, it says you're starting to go into a turn into the positive for your finances. March looks great. Now, April, it says, be sure not to do anything different that you were doing, because if you try to change the dynamics or get too confident that the finances are going to stay that way, you might self-sabotage. So, Patrick, what I'm saying is whatever you did to change your finances in February, keep it going and don't do anything different, because I show that if you do, it will turn it back to the negative. So you're going in a good direction. Looks great for February. Just keep it that way, whatever you're doing, so that you can stay on top of the curve. And that's what I show. All right. Okay, we have, excuse me. Excuse me. We have Macy. Macy's from New York. I have not had a serious romantic relationship for eons. LOL. I'm curious if you might see someone coming for me this year. Thank you so much, Anne-Marie. All right, Macy, I sure will look at that. The first thing I'm going to look at is just what comes up around love for you, Macy, and good or bad, what you may be needing to take first. And if I look at that, first of all, it says you definitely need to take your bitch pill, Macy. I feel that for whatever reason, you have either found yourself, and like attracts like, Macy. And I feel that right now, either you have to do something to better yourself, do something that makes you feel charismatic about yourself. Because like attracts like. And when you put out pride, and when you put out that feeling that you're really accomplishing something, whether it's your weight, or whether it's a new makeup, or whether it's going out and doing new things, you have to change your own patterns to be able to change this. So what I'm shown is that I'm shown somebody in January. Okay, we have January, April, and I have a new promising relationship for you. I'm shown brown hair, has a great job, does not seem to be tied down by another relationship, seems to be somebody that definitely, I would say, is the kind of guy that you could get serious about without having to worry about a meddling ex or anything. And it shows he will make you so happy. I'm shown that he is somebody that has a positive attitude, a good job, and he seems to be somebody that is not tied down with anybody in his life. Yay, yay, yay. So that's what I see for you, Macy. Again, I'm shown put out the good energy, put out that kind of sense of feeling good about yourself, whether that's joining an exercise class or whether it's doing anything possible to make you feel different, accomplished, and attractive. You know what? Anything that creates confidence is good because you like attracts like. All right? That's what I see. All right, we have Sue. Sue is from New Hampshire. She says, my son's health is compromised. His name is, okay, and I won't say his first name. What can you tell me about his health this year? Many, many thanks. Okay, first of all, Sue, I follow the certified ethics rules, which says that we are not allowed to give health readings. But Sue, I can give you an energetic reading. I would like to look at just what comes up around your son, and then I can also look at where does his energy level, which also affects health, seem to be in 2019. So Sue has given me his name. I am not to give it out. And if I look at what comes up on him at this time, Sue, this is what comes up. I'm shown that your son is way more confident than you are. I'm shown that your son has hope. I'm shown that the most important thing that he needs from you is to stay confident and to stay hopeful about him. And sometimes, and may I say, if you have a child with health problems, sometimes it's important that you not look at them like they do. You do what you can, but especially if you're looking at an older child, they don't want you to look at them like they're sick. They want you to see them as a strong person. And this is kind of what comes up in your reading, is that your child seems to feel way more confident about himself and has a strong faith that life is going to get better for himself. But please understand that you have to look at him in that same way. He counts on that from you. If I look at what will be the primary energy level for your child, for your son in 2019, and what comes up says, it's interesting that I don't know what kind of health issues that your child has, but it says 2019 is going to be a dream come true for him. 2019 is a year that he is bonded very closely with the people that he loves. But there's also a sense that he needs to pick wisely who and what he does in his life. It says sometimes he hasn't learned his lesson about patterns or ways that he was thinking in the past. There may have been a sense that it was because of this repeat pattern in his life, whether it be an environmental problem or whether it be substance or whether it be mental or whether it be energetic. I don't know. But he seems to be having a great year. I think he's drawn to drama, though. And one of the things that it says is that I would not worry about him too much because he's going to get through this year fine, but he's got a lot of lessons to learn about his patterns of living. And I think that that's something you can't do for him. He's got to do that for himself. You did not say how old your child is or how old your son is. But from his reading and the fact that he repeats patterns that he has, that have kind of sabotaged him, I would say be careful of getting too involved in that he may shut you out. In the long run, I think that you just have to see the best in him and give him a lot of loving support. That will be the best thing you can do for him this year, and he'll do just fine. All right. I'm going to go to Diana, who's inside the room. Excuse me. Diana, how are you today?
Good. How are you?
I am doing great, despite the fact I'm talking through my nose. I feel chipper and I feel happy, and I'm very happy to talk to you, Diana. What can I do for you?
I just want a general reading. I'm just generally at rest. So whatever you get, I will appreciate.
You betcha. You betcha. So, Diana, I'm going to do a general reading on you, and here's what comes through. Your reading says that at this particular time, something has you feeling as if you've kind of got stuck in a situation that you didn't ask for. Your reading shows that either you or someone close to you seems sorry about this. If this is you and you have done something that's kind of unintentionally created a problem, I would say that you need to just kind of forgive yourself or change whatever it is that you stepped into. If this is somebody else that has created this, I would say this person seems very sad about what has happened. Your reading shows that either a physical relationship or a physical situation I'm seeing has happened. Whether this is a situation in which there was intimacy or whether it is a situation in which this has just physically begun to make you feel traumatized, your reading shows that one of the reasons that happened to you was because you were far too patient for something that you shouldn't have been in. You were far too patient for something you should have tossed away. And your reading says, have no doubts about it, Diana. No matter how patient you may be for someone, it's not going to necessarily fix or change the situation. Your reading says it's time for you to pull out of what you have invested in, if this is a relationship or if this is a situation in your life in which you have just kind of like bad stock invested in to the point where you're not getting a return. If you're not getting a return and you're sensing that you've been patient, waiting for things to come around, and it's not coming around, then it's important for you to move on. Your reading says at this particular time, you hate to admit to or accept that failure or a sense of fixing something cannot happen. That's the part of you that's patient. You want to believe that you can fix something if you just hang in there long enough. But remember, your reading says that your angels, possibly even your friends, have been trying to tell you that there is something better around the corner if you just move on or do something different than what you've been putting yourself on hold for. Your reading says it's hard for you to give up. It's hard for you to be able to admit to the fact that you may be in a situation that you can't change, and that ultimately, please understand, there is a huge, beautiful, wonderful, great path for you in 2019 that's waiting for you, but it can't happen until you clean the slate. And cleaning the slate means that if you have been patient for something long, 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 and it has not worked out the way that you want it to, you need to move on to the next square. I feel that doing so will escalate your life into a much, much better direction. And that's what I see.
Thank you so much, Emery. I have an idea of what you might be speaking about. I think I have some reflection.
Reflection is good. So thank you so much for stopping in, Diana.
Oh, thank you. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hello, Renee. How are you?
I'm okay. Hopefully you feel better quickly.
Oh, I
Drink a
will.
lot.
Yeah, I do. It's just one of those things, right? What can I do for you? General reading?
But I called a doctor that I was told about, and because I wanted her to take a couple tests in particular. Plus, she would also give me a physical, and she might be able to find out some things that are the matter with me that I really think are, that I didn't mean to get like this. And also, she said, I spoke to her receptionist, and she said that if I wanted those tests, that I had to pay extra, and I wasn't sure how I was going to do the money, but I thought it would work out better than a health center for me, because I think she would be more thorough and faster. And if I could get the extra money, I wanted those tests, because I think that's what's causing all these problems that I didn't do anything about when I did try and nobody could find it when I put myself in the hospital 3 times for this one issue. And I think that's what's causing all my problems, and now it's adding more.
So what did you want me to read on?
Would she be the best, and would she help me really get to the root of the problem? Because I don't want to just go and then,
Please remember, I cannot tell you what to do. I can only tell you what I see, okay?
Right, and that's what I'm thinking, so.
So say her first name.
Renee.
Her first name is Renee?
No, my name is Renee.
What is her first name?
I don't know. It's just Charles, her last name.
Dr. Charles?
Dr. Charles, yes.
So if I look at what comes up on Dr. Charles, and what comes up on her, Renee says, well, it says she's dealt with issues concerning despair, hopelessness. She's won in many of those situations, good healings. But one of the things that she cannot seem to, I would say her cure rate is about 75%. There is a sense that she is somebody that will not continue to heal you if she does not see within 16 to 17 days that there's a cure. She would have to see an actual cure herself on what she does, because for herself, she has seen people that hang on too long and then she feels badly. So again, she has about a 75% chance of healing. She would expect to see you come around within 17 days of her healing abilities. And if not, she would want you to stop seeing her. So I see her as somebody that's ethical enough to say, if it's not working, stop coming. If I look at what would you get out of seeing her, and again, you always have free will, and you always must make your own decisions. But according to what your reading said, what would you get out of seeing her? I think that you would have some healing. I think that you would also spend a lot of money. But I think that the more money you have, the more you're going to be able to heal from what she has to offer. I would hope that that's not psychological, and that that's something that, because just like some people believe that if they spend more money on a tube of toothpaste, that it's going to make their teeth whiter, and even if it doesn't, they see whiter teeth. So my feeling is sometimes psychologically, paying more money can actually be a healing technique.
No, so, I want to get healing.
Yes, and so what I'm saying is she has a 75% chance of good healing. But I do believe that for the most part, it's up to you whether you want to spend the money to do so. I think that she would help you some, and that's something, right? I can't tell you more than that.
Can I just ask one thing? In the couple tests that I want that she would have to say that I have to take at another lab because she doesn't offer them, would that come with the answers that I'm looking for? Because that's what I'm really searching for.
So would the test that you take give you the answer you're looking for?
Yeah, that she doesn't give. She can refer you to get that test.
Yeah. I worry about that sometimes because I call that, that's where people sometimes get over-doctored by being referred to another doctor who refers to another doctor.
I'm not looking for another doctor until I get the blood test. There's something I think that's been in my system for years, and somebody has to diagnose it because I've seen it, and that way they can help me get rid of it. That's
Right.
what I'm talking about.
Right.
And she doesn't give that test.
Yeah. Renee, I don't want to make you lose hope. I feel that it would help. It would help. But it says spiritually, I think that you would find that you are cured somewhat. But I'm not seeing you jumping up and running around. I think it would help you quite a bit. I think, again, you have about a 50-50 chance of having a diagnosis that would be exactly related to what you have. But it's not something that'll happen quickly. And of course, the minute that you have a diagnosis, then you have to decide how much you're going to spend to treat it.
Right.
And so that's
but
why
I want to treat it. Yeah,
that's
I
why
want to treat it so I can get better.
Right, and that's what your reading said, is all of this depends on how much money you want to spend.
With the other lab tests?
The other lab tests can give you some of a clearer picture of what you may have in your blood. But doing something about it, doing something to do, well, we'll take them referring you to either her, because if it's not within her skill level of what is diagnosed, then you will be referred to someone else.
Correct.
So here's where the money comes in. So all I'm saying is if you have the money to spend on this, there can be more chance of a cure. But that's about as much as I can tell you. Watch out, though, for being in a situation where you go from one referral to another referral to another referral, and that's what gets a lot of people, where they have problems. So
how do you know who to do then?
Honey.
Yeah, I know for her, but I just wish I knew, because the couple lab tests could show what's happening to me, and that's why it's happening.
Do it. If one way or the other, if nothing shows up, then you have to try some other alternative. If something shows up, at least you know what it is, right? So again, how much money do you want to spend? Yes, I believe you can get a diagnosis one way or the other. Either yes, we see something in your blood, or no, we don't see something in your blood. If they do see something in your blood, you've got something to go on.
Right, and especially if it's what I think it is, then I have to figure out ways to get the money so I can get better.
Mm-hmm. That's right. I wish you luck on this, Renee.
Oh, thank you, Anne-Marie. I just hope it's that somebody can find it, because I had a specimen, now I don't, and I've been asking for one to show up.
Right. Well, I guess one way or the other, maybe the blood test is something that you can go on. And I guess you start there.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right, we have one last question, and that's from Emily from Connecticut. She says, I'm going to be retiring early in April this year, but the pay will be less than $700 a month. But physically, I can't keep a job. I'm looking for a place to be living. When do you see me moving to a new space? And does it look like I will be financially stable? Many blessings, Anne Marie. Emily, that's a lot to do in 9 minutes. I think that basically the best thing for me to do is give you a small general that will help me to be able to assess what's coming up. So, Emily, this is what comes up on you. At this time, Emily, I show that you feel as if you are really giving up a lot. And yet I show exquisite happiness for you in the future. I'm showing you kicking up your heels, dancing, and getting your inner child back. I'm shown that in the past you felt stabbed in the back and like you were just continuously finding yourself unhappy. The future shows that you will have to do less to try to be able to have a good life. And so what that says to me is that the future shows you finding Emily again. You're able to find that little girl that you used to be, that inner child. You're able to be happy again. You're able to be free. So I see retiring early as the very best thing for you. The one thing it says you're scared of is a life without passion and intensity and interesting things happening. But guess what? You're a winner. You're a winner at heart. And so you needn't worry about that. I'm also shown that you will find that there is a job that you can make in the coming retirement years that will make it so that you are able to have early retirement and have a side income that will allow you to have more freedom and actually have to do far less to be able to financially meet ends or have ends meet. Winner, winner, winner is what I see, Emily. That by an early retirement, yes, you will find a place to live. Yes, you will find a new space. And yes, you will be financially stable. It looks as if your plan is one of great happiness for you in the future. So I don't see you having a life without passion or intensity. I see you coming back to who you used to be, finding Emily again. And that's what I see. All right. Well, it looks like we didn't have a video today, but we will have sound. And I do want to say that for those of you that liked what you heard for a reading today, remember that you could schedule a reading with me for 15 minutes for $30 or 30 minutes for $60 by going to my website, thecallingoflight.com. The Calling of Light. You will find that my phone readings are very accurate. I only ask you for your first name. I give you what I see around your first name. I then do a little more in-depth reading, and then from there, you ask anything that you want. The readings that I give you in person will be so much more in-depth than what I can do on radio. So I want you to know that you are in very good hands. And I am always happy to have you here at Achieve Radio, where you can inquick me, or you can call the number, which is 602-666-6027. So I am going to end early today and blow my nose because it is what I need to do at this time with this little case of the flu I have. So I wish you all the very, very best, and come back, not next week, but the first week of the new month with Joseph, and the second week of the month with Joseph, and then the third week of the month is Annie's Angels with me alone. So thank you for joining me today. Bye.
Psychic radio, holistic radio, spiritual radio. This is achieveradio.com. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/achieveradio.